calling for a nationwide farm labor strike.
We are not machines. We are not criminals. We are the backbone of our food system, and we are tired of being treated as disposable.
Farm workers are planning to walk off the job to show how much they matter to the U.S. economy for a 3-day strike starting Wednesday. The call to action follows last week's massive immigration raid at a cannabis facility in Camarillo, leading to violent clashes between protesters and law enforcement. One worker even plunged to his death trying to get away. Agents detained more than 300 undocumented immigrants. ICE says some with violent criminal backgrounds and at least 14 children were rescued from potential exploitation. But despite growing public backlash, Trump officials say these raids are the new normal, vowing to aggressively ramp up deportations thanks to $150 billion in additional funding from Trump's recently passed signature spending bill.
Leave us alone, because we're coming over here to war. We're not coming over here to rob. We're not coming over here to do things wrong.
The White House is now appealing an L.A. federal judge's temporary order limiting an agent's ability to detain people without reasonable suspicion beyond their race, ethnicity, and occupation, blocking them from carrying out arrests at places like car washes and Home Depots.
I don't think any federal judge can dictate immigration policy. That's a matter for Congress and for the president, and I know the Department of Justice is going to litigate this.
Now, the Trump administration hopes that a federal appeals court strikes down this injunction. In the meantime, the farm worker strike is set to start this Wednesday and last through Friday. That's the latest from downtown L.A. Carlos Salcedo, KTLA 5 News.
Carlos, thank you. A disabled Army veteran detained during last week's immigration raid in Camarillo has been released without charges. 25-year-old George Retes, a U.S. citizen and security guard at Glass House Farms in Camarillo, was released Sunday night after being held for more than 3 days. His family says he was trying to leave the scene when agents broke his car window, pepper sprayed him, and took him into custody. They were unable to contact him for days and are still demanding answers. Retes says he is traumatized by the incident and considering legal action.
And a Cal State Channel Islands lecturer appeared in a Los Angeles federal courtroom today after being arrested during the immigration raid at that same Camarillo cannabis farm. Jonathan Caravello, he was detained last Thursday by immigration. Federal prosecutors accused him of assaulting an officer. They say he threw a tear gas canister during the protest. But some witnesses say he was just trying to dislodge a tear gas canister that was stuck underneath someone's wheelchair, and that's why he was arrested. His attorney claims that the lecturer was trying to protect his students.
The professor was protecting his students. He did share with me that he was not trying to interfere with any of the investigation that was happening. He was simply there to help support, and so he feels that his arrest was unjustified.
And Caravello was released on a $15,000 bond. His arraignment is scheduled for August 1st.
Controversial migrant detention centers like Alligator Alcatraz could be popping up around the country. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says she is currently in talks with 5 Republican governors to open similar facilities in their states.
Yeah, all this as lawmakers are allowed to tour that facility for the first time. Sandra Mitchell, live in the KTLA News Center with more on that. Sandy?
Yeah, Rick, Alligator Alcatraz, designed to hold thousands of detainees. It was built in just 8 days, and tonight we are learning more of these facilities. Yes, they could be popping up all across the U.S. As the Trump administration amps up deportation efforts tonight, there appears to be plans for more detention centers modeled after Alligator Alcatraz.
It needs to be shut down.
Democrats have criticized conditions at the Florida facility, but DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says she has plans to use a model for other immigration centers across the U.S. and already is in talks with the governors of 5 other states.
I will tell you, they are all Republicans. So I would challenge some Democrats to start taking care of your states, partner with us in a way to make your communities safer.
But Secretary Noem did not specify what states she's negotiating
Announcements will be coming soon. As you all know, we need double our capacity in detention beds because we need to facilitate getting people out of this country as fast as possible.
The first detainees arrived at the detention center in a remote area west of Miami just 10 days ago. Already there are critics. Several Democratic leaders toured the facility over the weekend and said they were discouraged by what they witnessed.
It's all a cruel stunt. Cruelty isn't just the point, it's the strategy in this.
Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman said the facility is housing detainees in what she called cages and says it's uncomfortably hot and bug infested. But the Miami Herald has obtained records that indicate 250 of the 700 detainees at the facility have immigration violations but no other criminal charges or convictions here in the U.S.
There are really disturbing, vile conditions, and they're abusing human beings here.
Secretary Noem insists the detainees are being fairly treated, and the facility complies with high federal standards. Congress has already approved some big budget increases for immigration enforcement, and a large portion of that has been set aside to build these new detention centers. Live in News Center, I'm Sandra Mitchell. Cher, Rick, back to you.
All right, Sandra, we appreciate it. Protesters held a rally today at President Trump's star over on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It comes as Mr. Trump reignites his long-standing feud with actor and comedian Rosie O'Donnell, saying that he's giving, quote, serious consideration to taking away her citizenship. Now, some of Rosie's fans are pushing back on that, saying that she was born in America and that President Trump doesn't have the power to revoke the citizenship of a naturally born U.S. citizen. But President Trump and Rosie O'Donnell have been criticizing each other publicly for a long time, since her co-hosting days of The View back in 2006.
The son of an entertainment executive charged with dismembering his wife and murdering his in-laws was supposed to appear in court today, but over the weekend, Samuel Haskell Jr. was found dead in his cell. KTLA's Rachel Menitoff has more on the shocking end to this gruesome story.
Like my resume says, unhappy, bitter, resentful.
Samuel Haskell, the son of a top Hollywood executive, found dead inside his jail cell at LA's Twin Tower Correctional Facility early Saturday morning by suicide. The 37-year-old was charged with killing and dismembering his wife and in-laws inside their Tarzana home in 2023. LA County District Attorney Nathan Hochman says the defendant evaded justice and robbed the victim's family of their day in court.
But Mr. Haskell never, ever volunteered what happened and where he put the body parts.